No, because when I fought against Bader, almost the same thing, happened. When I saw Bader on the ground, I stopped my punch and I didn't. I'm fair play.
Luke, over here, right from you. Did you see on Twitter about Chris Camozzi after I spoke to you the other day? He said that you should get over this fight first, and now since you've got over this fight in devastating fashion, is Chris Camozzi on your list now?
Chris Camozzi said actually that Andrew Craig was going to knock me out with a head kick.
Yeah, he did.
So just to clear that out. Camozzi is who I asked for, who I asked Joseph for this fight. I got Andrew Craig and I beat him pretty impressively. I'd love to fight Chris Camozzi. I think we just match up very well. He's tall, he's a striker, be an entertaining fight for the fans. But whoever I'm giving, I'll fight. But Chris Camozzi is definitely on the list.
Anyone?
Ross, just describe your emotions after that fight. Terribly frustrated.
Yeah, I'm super disappointed. I'm super disappointed.
Start again. Yeah, mega disappointed. The fight was just getting warmed up. It was looking like it was going to be an amazing fight. I felt great in there. Everything was going to plan. We were scrapping it out. Got caught in transition, and unfortunately accidents happen. I never felt hurt, I never got rocked. It wasn't a knee, what was like an impact, what hurt us, it was just like a cut knee. And unfortunately, I asked the referee to keep going, and the doctor, said no, it was too deep. I've had 32 stitches in my forehead. So yeah, pretty disappointed. More so for the hard work that I put in the camp, and wanting to come back to England and show the fans how much I've improved, and it was just meant to be my homecoming, and just disappointed the fans didn't get to see the fight that it should have been. Definitely, man, definitely. Me and Melvin, we both respect each other. He's a great fighter. I don't hold any grudge against him. If it was me in that position, I would have probably done the same thing. I don't think he done it on purpose. It was just one of them things. While we were scrapping, it happened. Unfortunately, I was on the other end of it.
Yep.
Mark, there's a question for Mark. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the finish of that fight, how you felt, it's a big kick, were you completely out, and how were your emotions following the fight, where do you think that leaves you?
I had my hand up, but snuck in and found myself on the ground, so he got me, and it's a knockout. He executed really well. Was going to his power side, and he landed a kick. So I don't know where it takes me. I'm just gonna go back, work harder. This is another adversity I'm facing, but hey, that's what builds champions. Champions face adversity. It's how you look at it. So life isn't 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. So I just gotta keep pushing through this.
Just quickly for Gary.
Yeah.
We heard that Sweden was on the agenda for early next year, and Alex would probably be fighting there. Now he's fighting in London. Does that mean that Sweden's off the agenda for the first half of next year, or are you still going to go to Sweden?
No, we'll still put an event in Sweden. The market's big enough; it can cope with. There's plenty of fighters in Sweden who can hold up there, and it's a great market. Last time Alex was there, sold out in 2 weeks, so plenty of activity up there for us. Anybody else?
Rioto, somos de México, de Multimedios Televisión. Me gustaría que nos contestes en portuñol. ¿Ok? ¿Cómo te sentiste, Lioto, de haber vuelto a la senda del triunfo después de haber tenido una controversial decisión en tu pelea pasada en Brasil? Ahora vienes a Inglaterra, sales con una victoria y con un gran knockout. ¿Cómo te sentiste?
Eu fiquei feliz com a vitória, mas assim, ao mesmo tempo, eu queria que essa vitória não fosse dessa forma com o Mark, entendeu? Eu não queria machucar o Mark, porque a gente é amigo, mas como profissional, eu tenho que dar o meu melhor ali dentro. Então foi o que aconteceu. Eu fiquei muito feliz, porque vim de uma luta contra o Phil Davis muito controvérsia, onde muita gente achou que eu ganhei e tudo, até o Dana White falou, mas o resultado não foi da forma que a gente quis.
The question was, coming off a controversial loss in Brazil against Phil Davis, how is it getting the win tonight here in England? And Lyoto says it felt good to get the win. Unfortunately, it was against Mark, who's a close friend. He didn't want to hurt him. But it was a good win, and especially coming off that controversial loss that a lot of people thought he won against Phil. It was good to win tonight.
Gary, just down here to your right. Dana's just announced that Gustafsson will fight Nogueira in London. Are there any other fights announced for the card that you want to reveal?
Yep, I think we'll put this matchmaking thing's getting pretty easy, so we'll put Melvin and Ross back together again in London on March 8th. Thank you. Anybody else? You've forgotten the question.
What's kind of going on with the UK shows right now in terms of the big fight, big games?
Well, we've been public this last week, as you well know. We've been talking about growing the business, developing the amount of fighters, giving fans more access to more fights. There's nothing's changed on that. When you do something, when we've got the fan base that we have, and you've seen it again tonight here in Manchester, we're never short of people who want to see great fighters. The demand's there, and Lorenzo and Dana manage all that. As you know, I've been public with that before. I'm in there a year. It's not my job to matchmake. My job is to grow the business and show people in Las Vegas that what you guys want to see. And my job is just to request it. Good news is right now they keep answering the call. So if you keep up the great work, I can keep asking, and they'll keep coming up with the great fights.
Long may it continue. You've got, I think, 6 events in the sort of European series that's going to come in next year. Any idea what the split's going to be between UK and the rest of Europe, and what sort of locations in Europe?
Yeah, UK, I think, well, actually, UK next year is London. So we're looking at London, Ireland, Malmo, Lodz in Poland, Istanbul in Turkey, Berlin. I think that was 6. So. And the question isn't how many we do, it's how many we say we can't do, because I've got another 5, 6 countries, cities that want UFC, because these guys are what they want to see, right? People always, Dana always says to me, you know, people are tweeting about the card, this card, that card, that card. At the end of the day, the UFC business and the fighters have earned the right to be a UFC fighter. That's good enough for any nation in this world, as far as I'm concerned, and we'll keep building that. And these guys showed again tonight that they are what we want to see. That's what we're in this business for.
Question for Luke. You predicted during the week the outcome and the method. I guess you owe Napoleon Hill a pint.
I definitely did that. I said it was going to be a right hand. It was a submission that won me the fight, but I think the right hand definitely is what actually got me the victory twice, even though I celebrated twice. But you know, 2 knockouts and a submission in one night is not too bad.
And just 2 quick ones. One for Norman. You said it seems like you're coming out of your shell this week. You're more comfortable talking to the press. 3-0 now in the UFC. It must feel great.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome, man. 1, 2. Yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm just getting into my groove. You know, the first round was a little bit tentative. After the first round, I hit my corner saying push the pace. You know, you get too much for this guy. Get into my groove, was slipping and countering, but I wanted to get that finish. You know, but you know, I'm happy I got the win. 3-0, moving up that ladder. It's a tough stack. The whole lightweight division stack. You know, but I'm here till the end. There ain't no stopping me right now. You know.
And finally, for Gary, you've seen some great talent come out of Europe in the last few years. Norman Park, for example. And is there anything, Sean Shelby and Joe Silva are obviously very busy men. Is there anything being done scouring Europe in terms of talent, perhaps, because they have a lot of on their plate matching fights?
Yeah, when I joined the business a year ago, just over a year ago, there were 6 people working on the EMEA UFC business. In fact, not all of them were working on the UFC EMEA business. They were traveling around the world. By the end of December, we'll have 12 people working on the EMEA business. One of those will be a matchmaker here in Europe. That person will be responsible for identifying talent around the world in EMEA, and we've got countries that have wonderful talent that it's untapped right now. So you'll see more and more talent come from this region.
Hi Gary. Gary, over here. Two.
Sorry.
Yeah, you've been quite aggressive in laying out your plans for expansion in Europe, but do you feel that a tough or a format of that kind to get into sort of hearts and minds of a bigger audience is something you need to go alongside or more shows?
Yeah, I mean the model's pretty simple. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm copying a script that's already written. Tough was one of the core assets that grew this business and created some of the great fighters. Michael Bisping was supposed to be on the card tonight. Was one of the early winners. So Norman, again, it's great fighters. We're endowed with them. It's great. They're all coming from Ultimate Fighter. We've never had an Ultimate Fighter in EMEA, one that we can say we own. It would be professionally foolish and naive to think that we would continue on that path.
Gary, down here to your left. To your left.
Sorry.
Hey, bud.
Sorry.
Obviously, you guys took a hit when Bisping fell off the card. The main event, the way it finished, seemed to make up for that to the fans here, but I think a lot of them seem to be thinking that Ross and Melvin was kind of their main event, at least for a local guy at the show. So as you guys are watching that how that co-main event finished, what kind of goes through your head there? Is there a point where you're concerned with how the fans are responding to that? Here they've lost Bisping from the show, and now they're really starting to lose it in the co-main.
Yeah, of course. But I'm in asking that question, you were probably thinking the same. So that's the sport that we're in. I mean, I don't think anybody got up this morning. I don't think Ross Pearson got up this morning thinking, I hope I get a cut in the first round of this game. That's not what we do. That's not what this sport's all about. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Now, would the fans have wanted more? I don't know. I think there's a lot of there were 13 fights on the card, so there's plenty of action. This sport can go either way, as you well know.
And then real quick for Mark. Mark, I was wondering if you could maybe take us through what you and Lyoto talked about right after the fight, if you remember any of that.
Yeah, we basically just hugged one another, and he basically said sorry, and I was like, it's okay, it's part of the sport, So we promised that winner's gonna buy dinner, so he's gonna buy me dinner sometime. So yeah, so we'll just continue training, and we're both professionals, and this is what we do.
Okay, 2 more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys.
MMA Studio from Norway. Tonight it was another Swedish success, and you were talking about increasing the market in Sweden. Any thoughts of putting a Norwegian guy in that card in Sweden?
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, we're hiring somebody in the staff in Europe to identify the talent. If the talent's good enough to be on the card, they'll be on the card.
Thank you.
One more.
Krzysztof Sendecki, Orange Sport Television from Poland. So I have a question about Poland. Do you know something more about UFC event in Poland in 2014? Is it real?
Yes, it's Lodge in Poland. I haven't got the exact date, and I think it's either September or October. I can get that date for you before you leave, but it's Lodge in Poland.
In which city?
Lodz, Lodge. Oh, sorry.
Łódź.
Sorry, my Polish escaped me for a moment. Just want to say a couple of thank yous. I want to thank, in particular, all of the fighters. They are what we are. They make what we are. Without them, we aren't anything. So that's the first thing. Thank you very much, guys. You're absolutely fantastic. Lyoto Machida for stepping in place of Michael Bisping. Our sympathies go out to Michael. I know he's devastated not to have fought tonight. I'd like to thank all the staff for putting on another great event here in the UK. And I want to say that this region is alive. It is more than well. It will build and it will grow. You will see more and more action only if you keep reporting, telling great stories about this wonderful sport. With that, I'll say have a safe journey home, travel safely, and we'll see you in London. Thank you very much.